everyone. This is Jared Rand, and welcome to the Global Guided Meditation Call for Friday, June 10th, 2022, a little after 3 p.m. Eastern. We have a reverse aging health call tonight with special guest Michael Thomas of Halo. To identify oneself with the body and yet seek happiness, right? To identify oneself with the body. In other words, you believe you're the body. And yet to seek happiness is like attempting to cross a river on the back of an alligator. Ramana Maharishi. The greatest shift that any human being can have in this lifetime is exploring the experience of self-realization. What is self-realization? There are many different definitions which point to it, yet ultimately it is a fancy word for realizing that the unlimited, all-powerful, omniscient, all-pervading divine self is who and what you, all of us, truly are. To get a taste of this experience, you must choose to let go of every idea, assumption, and boundary which you've defined yourself to be. Self-realization is an endless journey from form, okay? Self-realization is an endless journey from the unknown to the known. We not only realize that we are something far beyond this physical form, yet we have a direct experience of being one with everything and everyone along the way. We are totally relaxed in knowing that we are not separate from anything in this entire universe. We feel a radical sense of deep inner peace, as there is a feeling of supreme reverence for this infinite spiritual existence inside. My doctrine is to think the thought that is unthinkable, to practice the deed that is unperformable, to speak the speech that is inexpressible, and to be trained in the discipline that is beyond discipline. Buddha. The self-realized state is the deepest, most profound healing experience any being can have. You are continuously in a state of awe, bliss, expanding beyond your mind's limitations, and every moment integrating divinity into your every breath of life. You have finally come home. There really is no bigger transformation in consciousness than a human can have, than becoming self-realized. The change in perspective is so completely radical and utterly life-morphing that nothing else can compare. Take the most profound spiritual awakening experience of your life and then stretch it so it continuously expands inside you for 24 hours every day. This is a taste of what self-realization is like. Your entire experience of reality is so different. It's as if you had been an Eskimo living for 70 years in the Arctic Circle, and then one day you decided to pack your bags and permanently move to Hawaii. The reason it's vital to know why the experience of self-realization is such a radical shift in consciousness is that it prepares us to let go of everything we thought was real. Self-realization cannot be grasped by the mind. It's the deepest, let go of, it's the deepest let go of the perspective you currently see as a reality. This enlightening fifth dimensional reality is expanding exponentially in the self-realized state to the mind, has no hardened concept about who you are or what this life is about. The more the mind tries to grasp onto what self-realization is, the further you drift away from the experience of it. I am much larger and better than I thought. I did not know I held so much goodness inside. Walt Whitman. The reason why no brilliant thought or belief in this universe can create the self-realized state is because otherwise, when the belief falls away, then self-realization would fall away with it. The self-realized state leans on nothing or no thought, nothing but the perpetual willingness to surrender into the mystery and the curiosity of one's spiritual essence. This comes close to finding the door to open the self-realization experience, yet it is the greatest secret treasure in this universe, so it is extremely well hidden. I know we would all like a guaranteed formula on exactly how to find freedom from our suffering and experience a more pleasurable and liberating way of living this life. The problem is that every magical healing formula that works once is not always going to work every time forever. All formulas last for a limited period of time, and then we outgrow them. This is because the nature of our consciousness is meant to expand, become more flexible, and diversified. It is only through absolute surrender to the infinite universe that self-realization may be invoked and gifted to you. This level of surrender means you're inviting in the feeling that anything is possible, which means you must let go of just about everything you've known to be true. It's not easy to let go of our beliefs, yet it is the only way we will ever find the experience of being totally free. To initiate any seemingly impossible spiritual quest for freedom, we must choose to start with inquiring into the source and center of who and what we actually are. When we relax, meditate, and dive into the center of you, initially you will first hear the mind and its stories about you. However, the infinite experience of you is behind these thoughts. It comes from diving into the center of your presence, your essence, and from there you can go on and on and on into it for infinity. There's always another experience within the center of each experience eventually. Eventually, the surrender into our soft, sweet presence is how we become centered within our spiritual connection. In this life, it is always the most random, expansive feelings which redirect our attention away from who we think we are and towards rediscovering our unlimited creative source of consciousness. If you notice, whenever you talk about yourself, right? And we all do that on occasion. If you notice, whenever you talk about yourself, you usually refer to the words me, my, or I. Me, my, or I. When you feel into the experience of me, my, or I, what do you notice and perceive is there? Look for a long period of time. You must be infinitely patient with this inquiry because it is the first step towards uncovering the real you and is vastly deep and transforming. The longer that you can maintain a focus of inquiring who or what I am, the faster you will realize the shocking truth of who and what you actually are. Try it out. Try this exercise out. Imagine that who you are is contained within the small dot. So you visualize this. You have a small dot inside a circle, right? The dot is the self you believe you are. Picture that. This means everything which you have identified with that can be written down on paper, like your name, friends, job, your gifts, your physical appearance, your attitude, personality, the way others see you is all part of your identity. Now, the dot represents your mind with all the information stored inside it, as well as your emotions, memories, beliefs, and every piece of good and bad information inside your physical body. Everything you know to be true about your reality is contained within a tiny dot. Now, the circle that the dot sets in, the circle around the dot represents everything in our future we have yet to see. Experience, know, and learn. It contains our intuitive higher self that says who and what we are, includes the ego, mind, and body, yet also welcomes everything beyond it as well. Meaning, you could find yourself knowing who you are is not just your body, yet anything around you. You could feel yourself to be free, animal, plant, person, the sun, moon, star, planet. You'd be a tree, animal, plant, person, sun, moon, star, planet. You could extend your idea of yourself into anything and everything in this entire universe. The circle represents every piece of information you don't know is on, every piece of information you don't know is on Google, as well as in all the buried ancient history books and Akashic records throughout time. The more creative you become, the more godly you become. When your creativity comes to a climax, when each moment of your life is filled with creativity, you live in God, Osho. Now, excuse me. If you look closely at the circle, you'll see there is an outer circumference where the black edge meets the pure white background. This white background can expand into infinity. This edge represents the edge of the unknown and is where the experience of self-realization is found. We must choose not only to let go of identifying ourselves as a body-mind, yet also be continuously expanding our sphere of what we know as the unknown and surrender to the unknowable. Now, we can call this infinite, white, expansive space, God, love, consciousness, source, or any word that works for you. However, the truth is that there is no word large enough to describe this boundaryless container which allows for everything in the universe to play upon it. This is the great mystery of life, which every mad scientist fights with to understand. Yet, the mind will always be too small of a container to get it. To fully experience and realize who and what we actually are, We must choose to release anything that can be known with the mind and surrender into the infinite mystery behind it all. It is in this direct relaxation into our foundation that we find our spiritual connection and our boundless infinite potentiality. We instantly realize that we are a spirit being who is beyond this body, beyond time, beyond all places, shapes, and forms. When you judge another, you do not define them, you define yourself. Wayne Dyer. When you judge another, you do not define them, you define yourself. By living everyday life on this outer edge of infinite possibilities, we become rooted in the deepest truth of who we truly are. We experience enlightened relationships with everyone in our lives because we see they are also a part of the mystery living in this great unknown. We then become this ever-growing expansion of godly experience that is always increasing in love, joy, and curiosity. When we find this infinite, this infinity within us, where all thoughts and forms abide in, we can rest in a state of pure consciousness. It is from this resting within the core of our real selves where we can effortlessly allow everything to be in perfect order. Seeing the divine is orchestrating the universe to blossom exactly the way it needs to. The experience of self-realization can come and go in an instant. We don't need to meditate for 40 years to get it. It all begins with the choice in each moment to let this go of any identification we have with this embodied mind and exchange it for a more expansive experience of life. So it's partly pure intention and part total surrender. We must choose to go from thinking we are a limited human being with many problems of this world to knowing we are on a great spiritual journey through an unlimited life. This leap requires absolute risk and trust, as the nature of the mind-ego identity is to try to cling to the old. It wants to find security in that which does not change, yet everything of this world changes. The only thing that does not change is the infinite background. The only way to real freedom in life, in this life, is through changing our perspective. When we can shift from thinking, I live in the body, to the body lives in me, our reference point to me, myself, and I is expanded. We are no longer imprisoned to just the body and mind. We realize we are the unknowable. The identification with who we are is then found in everything. We experience life beyond the known and unknown circles of information we think are there. Self-realization is huge. However, it is not too huge to experience it in our daily lives. For it to root and be real, we must choose to be willing to practice integrating this expansive perspective on a physical level. We must choose to find complete relaxation with all the feelings, memories, and ideas of who we are now, and everything that we will become. It is through the deepest acceptance of our small self that we can expand into our unlimited self. We are forever going to be this shy, tiny dot that is also expanding into the infinite universe that exists around us This is life. We have no other choice yet to accept it and relax into the deeply eternal, loving, and accepting divine blackboard that is behind it all. So if you will, go to the place where you're not going to be interrupted, and I'm sure that we all are. And the first thing that we care to do is relax these bodies we're in. All starts there. You try every kind of avenue you want. Artificial, semi-artificial, forcing, willing, but the breath is what relaxes the body. The breath. Yep. Breathing in through the nose easily and slowly, and breathing out through the mouth easily and slowly. What happens? Well, for one, you leave the ego mind and subconscious mind alone. You don't engage them. You don't interact with them. So this stills the ego mind and subconscious mind, which means you leave them alone. You don't interact with them. You watch them. You know, you're not a participant. You're watching. And by doing this, you eventually will learn. These thoughts will come in, and guess what they'll be? You'll go, that's an ego thought. You say to yourself, that's ego thought. And it'll disappear. Or another one, that's an ego action. You'll start feeling this, and you say, that's an ego action. Ego thought. Ego-driven. You see, the ego does not want any of us to be in the now, but the breath brings you in the now. And in the now, the future, or tomorrow, the past, or yesterday. But when we focus on the now, we don't suffer. We don't worry. We don't stress. We don't fear. None of that. And this is how you master it. You master the ego mind. Now, we all have been known to go into the past or the future. But most of the time, the now is left alone, which is unfortunate because that's our natural state of being. That's where the bliss, all your answers are and everything. The now, within, opens the door to the God within that body that is you. So you're standing in front of three paths. You're in the center one, the now. And you notice that the trees have formed a golden canopy over these three paths. The leaves, the branches, the bark's all golden shimmering. The path itself, you see this brilliant emerald green flaming light in the form of grass. Now, the thing that you notice between these three paths really kind of stares you in the face. The one on the left yesterday, the past, it's been highly used. One on the right, which is the future, it looks really used. It's been used a lot. Now, the path you're on, the now, it almost looks brand new. Now, we reminisce, and we have fun with it. We all have a great hall. Great hall is subconscious mind. Subconscious mind records everything. Not only does it record everything from the time you enter that baby body all the way through your life and all lifetimes. And on top of it, it plays it back. It records everything around you, all the people, all the interactions, so on and so forth, and plays it back. So at times, it could be a song, you could be driving somewhere, walking somewhere, or just sitting, and it just comes over you. You say, wow, that was a great time. I really enjoyed myself. I'd like to do that again. Or that time was really, didn't work for me. I tried a different approach and it just didn't work. So I may try a different approach to see if that works. So, your past at times will act as a guide. It's just memories that you've accumulated, that you picked up through interactions. So we'll go into the room, our great hall, and we open the door, turn on a light. And whether you know it or not, when you walk in the room, you look at you real quickly. You look at the ceiling and the walls. Just kind of flash, look at them. Well, in your great hall, there's no ceiling and no walls. This place is so vast. And you see that it's just packed with stuff. And so you'll get a couple of movies, right? Books, pictures. And you'll go sit in an easy chair and you'll see this kind of a screen floating in midair. So you'll watch some of the movies, you'll read some of the books, and you'll look at some of the pictures. And you reminisce, oh, that was great, that was fun, boy, I had a good time there. This wasn't too great, but I learned something. So on and so forth. But we don't stay there. We do our thing. We put everything away. We turn off the light. We shut the door. We walk down the stairs, and we move forward in life. On occasion, we'll revisit. But some of us go in there, and they unconsciously stay there so darn long that they end up taking that past, bringing it into a future that doesn't exist, creating that future from that past, and reliving that past in that future. This is why people will say, no matter what we do, we always seem to end up here. Now we all go in the future, too. Because remember, in the now, ego mind doesn't exist, so it's sitting there trying to figure out a way to get you going in that circle again. Future, past, future, future, past, future, future, past, future. So we go and we take the path of the future tomorrow, and then we seek external authority. Because we can't find the answers, so they must know. And ego mind's sitting there poking you. You can see it's pushing you, nudging you, right? Nudging you come on, get going. Let's find out here in the future what's going on. So you go to a tarot card reader, many different kinds of cards, and then you can go to clairvoyant, psychic, astrologer, palm reader, tea leaf reader, crystal read, all kinds of things. And they tell you something. They'll tell you something, and different people, they, of course, have different responses, but there is a group of people that say, wow, that's really great. So this is going to happen for me in a month. Yes, it's going to happen for you in a month. Well, that's great. Now, you don't question it. You don't analyze it. You bring it in through the heart mind. You embrace it, and you let it go. No expectations, no attachments. Universe is in charge. Right? Universe either delivers what you want or something better. Now you'll manifest that with that approach. But the other, they look at it and then they fixate on it. And then they have attachments to the outcome. Then they have expectations. And guess what? It never happens for them. About 99.999% of the time. But you see, once we start to learn that in the now, everything happens in the now. In the now, we're creating our future. Now remember, the future is not etched in stone. It's written in the sand. You can change your future anytime you wish. But the now is literally all we have. Because you know what? If anybody were to ask you, what are you going to do tomorrow? You wouldn't know. There's a lot of void space because there are those living in lower frequencies, so they ask you these things. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Can't answer that one either. Maybe once in a great while someone comes up to you and says, where are you right now? You'll be able to answer that one simply by saying, I'm in the now. Without being facetious. Now, we have parts of ourselves that are gods that are asleep. Stone cold asleep. Then we have parts of ourselves, the gods that we are, that are awake to a certain extent. It doesn't mean that we don't love the parts of the gods that we are that are asleep any less than we love the parts of ourselves, the gods that we are that are awake. And one of the biggest tricks played on us, the civilization, is illusion, is separation. And it's illusion, but it's real. It seems real, doesn't it? I mean, when you look at your body and you look someone down the road and you say, well, we're not together. We're separate. And you're not. Because you're too focused on the body and not the God within the body. You understand the God within the body, the God within all things, is you. It's you. You. It always has been. Always will be, ever beyond it, forever. Because it doesn't matter, several species or 1,000 billion light years away. Still one. Not the physical form, but the God within it. And we look at this planet, we're all focused on this planet. And understand that the massiveness of that. We could say hundreds of millions on and off world that are focused on this planet, but then you look at all the other parts in the gigaplexes, and one gigaplex fill this universe with not even 1 square inch of sacred space to spare. And the liberation is in full swing on planet Earth. Right? And we're shining our light. The God, the force, love, light, energy within each and every one of us. And it's flooding this planet. Permeating, saturating all life, the highest supreme value in the universe, with this pure, deep, eternal love. And we're in full compassion, non-judgment, non-ego, non-negativity, stillness of mind, gentleness, kindness, generosity, humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, prosperity, abundance. And we're all one, and we're all love, and we're all God. And our God, force, love, light, energy is in all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. It continues to grow, intensify, and expand. Now, we form a massive white fire circle of light around the equator of this planet Earth, Gaia, Arya, and this now. This is pure, deep, eternal love, the highest of the highest high vibrational frequencies. And we're flooding this planet, infinity and beyond, with this love. On it, in it, above it, and below it. All life, the highest supreme value in the universe. The circle of light is so bright that it grays out the darkness of sacred space. Not only that, if you were to take 1 billion suns, trillion suns, and group them all together into one ball, they would pale in comparison to the God light that we are. Now we begin to ascend above the planet. As we do, we immediately are met with a massive ocean of glitter. not like anything you'd see on this planet, way beyond that. So we describe it the best we can. So we take experiences that we've had here on this planet, the Grand Finale fireworks display, a Grand Finale laser light show display, and a ballroom globe with perfectly etched mirrors. Every time you shine light on it, it floods the room with light. Now we take these and we intensify them, expand them many times, and we combine them. And so when we combine them into one massive crescendo, and then we'd have this wonderful burst of light, spectacular colors and everything. It's about as close as near as we'll get to describing the ocean of glitter. Now we look at the reflected points, which are absolutely everywhere. And so we seek out the reflected points, and we notice that they're tiny, microscopic, perfectly etched mirrors. So we enter them. And we discover that all of us, eternity, infinity, and beyond, are teaching and learning with each other, for each other, by each other, and of each other. You see, that illusion of separation is there, and that's what's distracting. So when you look at a tree, you realize, well, that tree is not me. It's way far away, and it's not even a part of me. When you look at another person, you say they're way down the street. How can I be part of them? The illusion is the body, the physical form. Everything that lives in physical material world has a God in it. Reason is that we like to experience all forms of physicality, all forms. Doesn't matter what it is. I guarantee you. We may have already inhabited it and experienced it. It's like, your pets teach you a lot of things. Dogs and cats teach you that. Everything teaches us. Now, when we're in the now and we're focused on the breath and we're going to meditation silence and we just look around, you'll see it all. You're always teaching and learning. You look at a tree. Trees tell us a lot. So you have an oak tree. It's strong. It's powerful. It's hard. It's fixed. It's not easily moved. And sometimes it is incapable of bending because of the strength of it. And so it doesn't learn. It learns that it fights the wind. It fights it. It's strong, though, steadfast. The bamboo tree, opposite. Light, airy, tall, and bends with the wind. Back and forth. Bends and flows. Doesn't fight it. But yet stays resilient and straight up. But sometimes in this life, we stand firm, powerful, and strong, like the oak tree. Other times in this life, we bend, flow, move with the elements, like the bamboo tree. So we're all learning, we're all teaching. It's fascinating. How can we ever get bored in this life? And then when you look at the archangels, the cherubim, the archetypes, you look at the ascended masters, Kuan Yin, Maitreya, Buddha, Lakshmi, Ganesh, Gaia, Christ, El Morya, Abundancia, Pel, Thoth, Yahweh, Yeshua. So when all of that we are part of. Ascended masters hold pure God form, pure consciousness. They're a part of the God that we are in this body. All the archangels, their bodies hold or house of God, which is part of the God that we are. Loved ones who ascended out of body in this lifetime and all lifetimes, same thing. Their gods, their souls are part of our gods. All the inhabitants of inner earth, hollow earth, or Garten beneath are same thing. All the off-worlders, galactic celestials, Pleiadians, Sirians, Arcturians, Andromedans, Felines, Reticuli, Anunnaki, Nords, Greys, Draco, Reptilian, Golden Pyramid, Avian. In their physical form, it's just a suit. The God within it is the same as the God within us. Now, we're immediately met with, we carry columns of light to remind us the gods that we are in these bodies. So you have Archangel Raphael, he's carrying a super brilliant emerald green flaming healing light column. And this is to remind us, the gods that we are the power of healing these bodies. Then we have Archangel Michael. He's carrying a column of light, flaming light column, of the violet, blue, purple flaming light. This reminds us, the gods that we are within these bodies, of our omnipotent power, strength, and resolve. Then we come across the white fire. This white fire emanates from the God source, the kingdom of God, the heaven. The God within that body, you. Now this white fire armor protects us 24/7, infinity and beyond always, because it is made of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, and purest of purest, eternal love, the highest frequency. So we have no demon possession, no attachments, no lower dark matter, survival matter, frequency interruptions, nothing. Protected forever. Yet, only you have the power that if you decide to lower your vibrational frequency low enough, whether consciously or unconsciously, your hatred, anger, fear, greed, manipulation, dishonesty, hurriedness, envy, revenge, you will lower your vibrational frequency low enough, create a breach in your white fire armor, allowing all the lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies to come flooding in. You do decide, of course, and then that opens up for possibilities of demon possession, attachments, and everything else. You do decide to do this, we have fail-safes we've created as the gods that we are. So we had this double column of light that we created. First part of the column of light is purple transmuting flame. This reminds us that we can bring in the purple transmuting flame. We can transmute all these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies into neutral light substance, sending them to pure consciousness where they are, no more. Now we're then met with the second part of this column of light, the violet ray. This is a column of light that we created to remind us all that we can bring in the violet ray right behind the purple transmuting flame, cleanse and purify the area where these lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies were, sealing the breach in the white fire armor, restoring our vibrational harmony to the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest, purest of the purest, of eternal love, gratitude, and peace. We are then met with the golden white pink light. This is a column of light that the gods that we are within these bodies created to remind us that we are the sun, the sunlight. We are the rain and the rainbows. We are the sunsets and the sunrises. We're the oceans, the rivers, the lakes, the streams, the trees, the forests, the soils, the animals, the clouds in the sky. We're everything is us. And interestingly enough, through the ego mind, which we're used to, we'll look at a beautiful sunset, sunrise, starry lit night sky, mountain view, ocean view, And we'll say, isn't that beautiful? And it is beautiful because it's you, the God you are in that body. So then when you see it again, you see another version, you go, that's the God that I am, through the heart-mind. Not the head, not the ego-mind, but through the heart-mind. That is the God that I am. It's a matter of fact. Always have been. We always will be, ever, beyond, and forever. Everything, we're part of everything. We are everything. Everything is us. Now we continue to ascend above the planet. Some of us, carrying physical form, decide to step out of the physical form and hover effortlessly above it. The reason we do this is because we can, and it's really fun. We come into full contact with a crystalline light tower. We, the gods in these bodies, created this tower. It's larger than the solar system and beyond. The center of the column of the tower is this massive oblong sphere. In the center of the sphere is this phenomenal golden white bowl of light. And it, in turn, is surrounded by multicolored rings of light that seem to go to infinity and beyond. This, in turn, creates this super bright white, misty cloud, flickering and reflecting and flashing, and it enters through our heart mind. And it feels like a warm embrace that never ends. And then we discover that the golden white bowl of light is the highest of the highest high, deepest of the deepest deepest, purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Then comes gratitude, well-being, gentleness, kindness, generosity, and humbleness, bliss, joy, peace, tranquility, benevolence, massive prosperity, and massive abundance. And all this, again we discover, is a reflection of the gods that we are within these bodies. Now, at the top of this tower, we designed it so the golden ocean can come cascading in 360 degrees, 24/7, infinity and beyond, as it's doing right now. What is the golden ocean? Pure, deep, eternal love. This is way beyond romantic love. And it's flooding this planet. On it, in it, above it, below it, all life, the highest supreme value in the universe. Flooding it, saturating, permeating it. On it, in it, above it, below it. We're drops of this golden ocean. We also carry the essence of this golden ocean. Golden ocean is the drops of the golden ocean. And the only illusion is separation. Now we see our meditative sphere at set center circle. We created this sphere over 4 years ago. It holds nearly 1,900 of our meditations in perpetual motion. And these meditations are flooding this planet, permeating, saturating, infinity and beyond. Hundreds of millions of us with the highest of the highest high intent, consciously aware, which means that we know we are of and from the highest of the highest high, the deepest of the deepest deepest, and the purest of the purest purest, eternal love. Now we're drops of this golden ocean. And we're drops of this sphere, this meditative sphere. And we hold the essence of this sphere. The sphere is us and we're the sphere. The gods that we are within these bodies. That's why it can be seen, heard, and felt, and all that there is, ever has been, ever will be, ever beyond, and forever. And that's why it continues to intensify, expand, and grow. as well as the meditations do. Now, you can tap into it any time. What's going on? What's going on with this planet? In meditation, in silence, you can see, just floating there, and you see all of this dark black goop, and it's the blackest of the blackest black, leaving the planet as if it's being vacuumed off. All the surfaces and everything. The rogue AI goop, and the pure evil, and the corrupted souls goop, and it's all leaving the planet. And we created, the gods that we are, we created an atmosphere on the planet. It looks like the Aurora Borealis, but you can see through it, and it's a golden white pink. And it's pure, deep, eternal love. And so this goop is just, it looks like it's sparkling, but it's flashing because parts and bits of it are disintegrating and vanishing as it passes through this atmosphere of golden white pink light. And then we created this sky, and the sky is golden white pink light. Brilliant. And so we see the goop, and we see it dissipating, and any that makes it to the sky, you see one big flash, and it's totally disintegrated, evaporated, to be no more. And this is why this planet is literally opening up, and it's converting itself into a God planet paradise due to the ever-increasing awakening of this civilization. It is through our vibrational frequencies of our own intent of going within and discovering the gods that we are within these bodies, and that we are pure, deep, eternal love, bliss, joy, happiness, peace. And we're eliminating through our vibrational frequencies a deep, pure, eternal love, gratitude, and peace, lower dark matter, survival matter frequencies. They can't hold their form. And the more we increase our vibrational frequencies, the less there are of them. Believe that to heal yourself is easy. Believe that to heal yourself is easy. You have powers inside you that are beyond amazing. Your soul is so powerful that any old trauma, dis-ease, or negative experience can be instantly transformed. Choose today to be the most powerful healing experience of your life. Let your mind go wild into the unknown with this possibility. The moment it does, you will feel and know in your heart your true spiritual nature is already complete and already whole. Now join you in the meditation and return to close us out. Take an easy breath in slowly through the nose. And an easy breath out slowly through the mouth. And be still. Stop fighting with everyone and everything in your life today. Be totally relaxed and completely aware that there is a current of energy taking you down the river of this great existence. The body naturally knows how to find inner peace when you surrender and stop fighting this moment of your existence. Take this with you for the rest of the day, into the evening and night, and the following morning. We'll return here tonight at 9 p.m. for a Reverse Aging Health Call with Michael Thomas. And Saturday, June 11th, 2022, 3 p.m. Eastern, to continue our Global Guided Meditation Call.